Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. These cannibals belonged to a mysterious tribe that believed eating someone would transfer their knowledge and power. Then we meet Charlie, a strange man in the middle of a deserted landscape. He's hunting a woman, not for sport, but for food. For Charlie, killing and eating people is just a part of daily life. The terrified woman hides inside a house, but Charlie tracks her down and kills her using an axe. Later, he makes meatballs out of her flesh, a twisted take on a popular American dish usually eaten with hot dogs. Charlie sets up a small stand near the desert to sell those meatballs. Soon, a couple pulls over near his stand. The woman, a vegan, argues with her boyfriend, trying to stop him from eating the meatballs. But the boyfriend doesn't care. He asks Charlie for a serving. While preparing the meatballs, Charlie cracks jokes. It turns out, he dreams of becoming a famous comedian. The boyfriend laughs, unaware of what's coming. As they start to leave, Charlie suddenly attacks him with an axe, killing him instantly. His girlfriend, horrified, tries to escape. Just then, a car pulls up. Inside is a woman named Eleanor. The girl runs toward her, begging for help. But Eleanor coldly refuses. Why? Because she knows exactly what's going on. Moments later, Charlie arrives and kills the girl. He then turns both their bodies into meatballs, because that's how he makes a living. Eleanor comes back, and we discover a disturbing truth. She and Charlie are good friends. That's why she didn't help the girl earlier. She knew Charlie was hunting. She casually asks, "What happened to your comedy dreams?" Charlie replies, "They're still alive. I could never give up comedy." Cut to a new character, Crystal, a young singer heading to perform at a festival. While driving, she sees Eleanor pretending her car broke down. Crystal offers her a ride, and Eleanor, acting sweet, thanks her and starts asking questions. But Eleanor tricks Crystal and takes her to Charlie's house. The moment they arrive, she hits Crystal on the head with a bone. Crystal collapses inside her van. When Eleanor tries to hit her again, Crystal fights back and kicks her away. Just when it seems she might escape, Charlie appears. He grabs her and ties her to a chair. Instead of killing her, he begins telling jokes. Crystal, confused and terrified, asks, "What do you want from me?" Charlie says, "Nothing. I just want you to stay here, with me." Crystal warns him, "I'll kill you," and escape. But Charlie stays silent and walks away to eat dinner. The only reason he hasn't killed Crystal yet? He still has plenty of meat left from earlier. The next day, we meet Sheriff Weaver. He's informed that a girl named Crystal has gone missing in the desert. Back at Charlie's place, just as he sits down for breakfast, Sheriff Weaver knocks on his door. Charlie answers, and the sheriff asks, "Do you live here alone?" Charlie nods. When the sheriff asks if he knows Crystal, Charlie denies it. To lighten the mood, Charlie cracks a few jokes. Surprisingly, the sheriff laughs. They chat casually for a while, and the sheriff leaves. Later, Charlie watches TV and sees an ad about a comedy club offering open mic nights for stand-up comedians. He gets excited. It's his chance to live his dream. He plays his favorite song, and we learn something shocking. That song was sung by none other than Crystal. She's his favorite artist, and that's the real reason he hasn't killed her yet. Later, as Charlie chops up old bodies, Eleanor returns and casually demands meatballs made from Crystal. But Charlie tells her, not yet. After that, Charlie approaches Crystal, but she panics and lashes out, accusing him of having bad intentions. Charlie calmly tapes her mouth shut and walks away. Later that night, while eating dinner, he watches TV. The news is reporting Crystal's disappearance, and Charlie bursts out laughing. The next day, two treasure hunters are out in the desert. They eventually find the spot where a hidden treasure was supposed to be, but the chest is gone. Suspiciously, Charlie's house is right across from that location, and they start to suspect him. Meanwhile, Charlie opens the mysterious chest. What's inside? We're not shown. But Charlie mutters, "This thing's illegal," hinting that it's something dangerous. Back outside, the treasure hunters decide to sneak into Charlie's house. Inside, they find Crystal tied to a bed, and are completely shocked. Before they can react, Charlie appears. Crystal screams for them to run. One of the men tries to fight back, but Charlie brutally attacks him. The other panics and runs, but Charlie chases him down and kills him too. While checking the man's pocket, Charlie finds a flyer for a comedy club, the same one he had dreamt of performing at. Seeing the address reignites his dream of becoming a comedian. But deep down, he still doesn't believe he's ready. He goes inside and stands in front of the mirror, trying to convince himself that his jokes are good enough, that people will laugh and enjoy his performance. But deep down, he knows he's not ready. Doubt creeps in, and his confidence starts to crack. Later, he approaches Crystal and asks for her help. Though she's shocked by the request, he opens up about his dream and admits he needs guidance. Recognizing his vulnerability, Crystal encourages him to take the leap and reminds him that performing is all about taking risks. Inspired by her words, Charlie gathers his courage and heads to the club. Before his first show, Sheriff Weaver and Eleanor wish him luck. At the club, Charlie sees other comedians getting ready to perform. He meets Bruce, the bartender, who tells him to fill out a form to sign up. Charlie writes down his stage name, Cannibal Comedian. Soon, the club owner, Carrie, hits the stage with his own jokes, making the crowd roar with laughter. After his set, it's Charlie's turn. He steps onto the stage, nervous but ready. Then, he starts telling his dark, twisted jokes. To everyone's surprise, the crowd loves it. Even Carrie can't stop laughing. After Charlie's performance, the club owner, Carrie, is impressed and jokingly invites him for next week's show, suggesting he bring a dead body next time. Charlie, taking the joke literally, returns home thrilled and tells Crystal how well the crowd reacted. He even thanks her for motivating him. The next day, Charlie arrives at the club with an actual dead body in his bag. Inspired by photos of legendary comedians on the wall, he feels more driven. Carrie, assuming the body is just a stage prop, laughs it off. When Charlie performs, his dark humor lands perfectly, and the crowd loves him. Soon, people start recognizing him as the Cannibal Comedian. Back home, Charlie is ecstatic. To celebrate, he throws a party for Crystal, forcing her to eat human meat. Disturbed, she resists, but he eventually ties her back up in the bedroom. At another show, Charlie notices a man in the audience being rude, heckling comedians, and calling their jokes unfunny. One of the performers tells Charlie how awful the crowd is. When it's Charlie's turn, the same man mocks him and even dares him to eat him. After the show, the man insults Charlie's set, comparing his jokes to a dead body, boring and lifeless. Charlie snaps. Enraged, he murders the man and begins preparing new props for his next act. At the following performance, his jokes hit even harder, and the crowd goes wild. Carrie talks to him afterward and notices a strange piece of skin in Charlie's bag. Though startled, Charlie assures him it's fake and handmade. Curious, Carrie asks about Charlie's life. When Charlie mentions living near Desert Road, Carrie is shocked. Rumors from his childhood claimed that area was once home to cannibals. Charlie simply shrugs it off. When Carrie asks how he comes up with such unique cannibal material, Charlie calmly admits he doesn't have to make anything up, because he lives it. Carrie laughs it off, but deep down he's both impressed and unnerved. Charlie's growing popularity is also starting to make Carrie feel jealous. Later, at home, Charlie reads the newspaper when Eleanor visits, wondering why he's no longer selling meatballs. Charlie tells her he's left all that behind. He's a comedian now. However, things start to slow down. Despite his popularity, Charlie struggles to book new shows, as the slots are filled by other comedians. He shares his frustration with Bruce, the bartender, who reassures him that his time will come again. The next day, Charlie shows up at the club hoping to perform, but all the slots are already booked. Frustrated and defeated, he returns home, where Weaver has come over for meatballs. Charlie vents about not getting any shows lately, and though Weaver tries to lift his spirits, Charlie feels like his comedy career is slipping away. He later shares the same with Crystal, who secretly hides one of his weapons during their conversation. That night, Charlie gives her human meat to eat, further dragging her into his twisted world. Back at the club, Charlie confronts Carrie about being excluded from performances. Carrie, without much remorse, tells him the truth. His cannibal jokes are outdated, and the audience has lost interest. Enraged, Charlie walks away, feeling betrayed and humiliated. At home, he lashes out at Crystal, blaming her for his ruined life and claiming there's no point in living anymore. But Crystal tries to convince him otherwise, reminding him that his jokes still have power. While Charlie spirals, Carrie begins preparing for a major comedy show by stealing Charlie's material. Despite being warned by his associate not to do it, Carrie insists and performs Charlie's cannibal jokes at the club. Among the audience is Weaver, who immediately recognizes the stolen content and informs Charlie. The news sends Charlie over the edge. Later that night, Carrie heads home after the show, unaware that Charlie is following him with an axe. Charlie brutally attacks him, cuts off his legs, and takes him home. Once there, Carrie sees the horrifying reality. Multiple dead bodies stacked in the house. He realizes Charlie isn't just telling cannibal jokes, he's living them. Terrified, Carrie offers him everything he owns, including his club, but Charlie is beyond reason. As tensions rise, Crystal uses the chaos to free herself and attacks Charlie, then escapes. Before fleeing, she records a confession on the same cassette Charlie once used for music, capturing the truth of his crimes. She heads to the club and, in a shocking turn, performs cannibal jokes herself. Eleanor is there, still obsessed with human flesh, and is visibly thrilled by Crystal's performance. Meanwhile, Weaver arrives at Charlie's house. A badly injured Carrie pleads for help, but Weaver refuses to intervene. Moments later, Charlie murders Carrie, ending his story in a pool of blood. And with that, the movie concludes dark, twisted, and disturbing. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notification so you can watch more videos like this.